Do you ever feel like you are your own worst enemy? You don't believe you can tackle a problem, or you fail to take action or complete a task, or feel like you are lacking passion or can't move the needle where it matters, all while others seem to be succeeding. What if I told you you're capable of more, and the only thing stopping you is this small moist piece of shit renting inside your head? Your brain, let's call him Bryan, has a set of drives designed to keep you safe, comfortable, and exactly where you are. Hi, I'm Bijoy, an ex-Meta manager and engineer, and in this video we will talk about 5 kinds of traps that hold us back, how they manifest, and how to tackle them successfully. And just knowing about these traps in your way can help you catch them and ask Bryan to f off. So, watch till the end. Before we start, I want to apologize, this video took some time to get out. We have been heads down on our new expense splitting app, Splitsies, which we just launched. More on that in the description, and now, back to the video. The first and the most fundamental trap is the talent trap. This is a belief that your abilities and limits are something inherent to you. It's just Bryan saying, oh, I'm not a maths person, oh, I'm not a leader. This is what people call fixed mindset. If you believe you are smart, you will unconsciously avoid any challenge that proves you wrong. A struggle in such a case doesn't feel like learning. It feels like a threat to your identity. And this trap is the source of so many other problems. Imposter Syndrome, for instance. That's the persistent feeling that you are a fraud and everyone's about to find you out, which they are. That's a symptom of the talent trap. You secretly believe that a really talented person wouldn't have to work this hard or feel this confused. To navigate this trap, you need to build a growth mindset. And an actionable step for that is to rephrase failure from I failed to I haven't mastered it yet. This simple shift reframes failure from a final judgment to a stage in learning. So you can say, God damn it, Bryan, it's just a data point. Another actionable step is to shift your self-defining language. Instead of saying, I'm not a public speaker, you can choose to identify as, I'm learning to get better at public speaking. This way you are praising your process and not your perceived talent. By the way, if you want to know more about fixed and growth mindsets, check out Mindset by Carol Dweck. Next up is the safety trap. This is the trap of actively avoiding the psychological discomfort of risks. See, Bryan is a lazy bastard and loves to conserve energy and not take risks. And this one trap is the source of so much self-sabotage. Perfectionism, for instance, is not always about meeting a high standard. It's often just a deep-seated fear of not being judged. And one side effect of it is that you'd never start something or don't finish it just to not be judged. Procrastination, on the other hand, can stem from a fear of failure. By delaying, you just give yourself a built-in excuse. I didn't have time feels much safer for your ego than I tried, I gave my best, but I just wasn't good enough. And then there's the shiny object syndrome, where you keep switching projects or activities without completing them. This way, you're avoiding the discomfort of deep or unfamiliar work by chasing the comforting dopamine rush of a new exciting idea. So to tackle this, when you feel that resistance or fear of pursuing something, catch that thought and decide that that's exactly what you should be tackling. In that moment, a concrete action you can take is to intentionally tackle one small task or take one small risk to move the needle. This exercise trains you to reframe the feeling of anxiety and targets it towards a specific achievable objective outside your usual comfort. Trap number 3 is the reality trap. This is the hard truth that Bryan isn't really showing you what's real. Bryan, you lying ass. It's showing you a filtered version of reality, either exaggerating things that prove you right, or creating a self-defeating narrative of a victim. The main culprit here is confirmation bias. You instinctively hunt for evidence that prove what you already believe. So if you believe you're bad with money, which you are, so just give it all to me, I'll keep it safe, you will only remember the times where you overspent. You will conveniently ignore or dismiss the times where you saved successfully, just reinforcing your self-limiting belief. This is also why social comparison becomes so toxic. You scroll social media and compare your raw, behind-the-scenes footage with everyone else's curated highlight reels. All this just confirms your bias that you are behind in life. This trap is also where sunk cost fallacy lives. That's when you keep pouring time and money into a failing project just because you have already invested so much. You're filtering reality to justify your past decisions. Honestly, the easiest way to tackle this trap is to live with two generally good beliefs. One, always assume you can be wrong. That doesn't mean to doubt yourself, but it means to be open-minded what you consider true when new facts come in. Remember, Bryan is a liar and a cheater. The second is to assume good intent in others. In moments that frustrate you the most, try to guess what could be a good reason that another person could have done something you considered awful. This behavior builds both a deeper sense of empathy and self-awareness in the moments of deep discomfort. Trap number 4 is the productivity trap, and boy, is it a subtle one. This is the illusion of progress. It's Bryan going, "Ooh, I worked so much." But really, Bryan, you didn't do shit. In these moments, you are not truly improving or growing. You're just confusing motion for progress. By themselves, answering emails, attending meetings, or even writing some code is just motion. But when you're able to make concrete outcomes from these actions, like discussing and solving a hard problem, unblocking a client, or shipping a project, that is progress. Are all of these meaningless? Maybe. But are they progress? They goddamn are. This is why so many of us just get stuck in passive learning. Watching tutorials feels productive, but is it? Real skill is only built through active learning. Doing the hard thing, applying the knowledge, maybe failing and getting feedback. Watching this video, for instance, isn't good enough if you don't go back and introspect. This trap is also why we hit the good enough plateau. We get to a certain skill level and just go on autopilot for the rest of our careers. Real growth only happens with deliberate practice, pushing just past the end of your abilities, which by the way is super uncomfortable, hence the trap. The way to tackle this trap is to focus on output and not inputs. Retrospectively, you shouldn't judge your success by how many hours you worked, but the tangible progress towards your most important goals. And you can preemptively set yourself to succeed by prioritizing your task based on the urgency and importance of their outcomes. Finally, there's the culture trap. Admittedly, this trap isn't all Bryan's fault, but Bryan does have some bad friends. It's the bad advice and social script the world gives us. Basically, any Tom, Dick, and Bajoy can make a YouTube video and tell you how to live your life and how to tackle your traps. This trap includes groupthink, the act of conforming to a group just to avoid the discomfort of dissent, and the behavior of misplaced loyalty, which keeps you stuck in a dead-end job out of a false sense of duty to a company that isn't investing in you. And then there's a single worst piece of advice. Follow your goddamn passion. This is a trap because most people don't have a single pre-existing passion. 2, it creates this unrealistic expectation that work has to be fun all the time. So you get dissatisfied in the inevitable periods of drudgery. And 3, it causes people to jump from job to job, searching for a dream that doesn't exist. The method to tackle this is to realize that passion isn't something you find. It's something you cultivate. Stop asking, "What is my passion?" and start asking, "What valuable skills can I build? And what behaviors can I value?" And when you get so good at something that you gain autonomy, respect, and competence, that's when you become passionate about it. By the way, I made a video just about this. So there they are, the 5 traps of stagnation. And if you are paying attention, you'll notice the single thread connecting all of them: the avoidance of psychological discomfort. We fall in the talent trap to avoid the discomfort of failure. We stay in the comfort trap to avoid the discomfort of risk. We use the reality trap to avoid the discomfort of being wrong. We hide in the productivity trap to avoid the discomfort of focused work. And we stumble in the culture trap to avoid the discomfort of charting our own path. True growth isn't about finding a magical productivity hack. It's about developing the self-awareness to see these traps and then building the courage to deliberately choose the uncomfortable path. That's it. That's the secret. So my question to you is, which of these 5 traps do you see the most in your life? Remember, the first step to breaking free is to just name it. Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching. And now, go do the hard thing. Bryan.